She's said to be devastated by a report alleging her husband has been what is being called a cross-dressing double life.
They put the Chiron as get it off your chest. Kristi Noem and her husband, and she's laying in bed. She's probably thinking about other women, then it's him. I wish I had.
Please, for the love of God, stop saying the word cross-dressing.
Some of y'all have a lot of internalized hatred to sort out, and it's showing bad.
Hey guys, welcome back to Normal Gays, where we take on insanity. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson
What's
Lawson.
up, guys? Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, do that. Guess what
Be
we're going to talk
abrupt or
about,
anything.
Clarkson? Tit old
Guess.
biggies.
Oh, we're finally talking about Kristi Noem's husband.
We've been meaning to get to this, but
Is there like any pillows or
we
anything in
actually
here?
looked, and I refused to do it. I was not going to do this, but Clarkson was going to get a pair of massive.
Hold on.
Did you see Tim Dillon do it?
Yeah, I'm pissed that he did it.
I did. He was going to actually do this in prosthetic. I don't know where Clarkson went. He just left, and now he's digging through one of my closets, probably looking for something to shove in his shirt. So anyway, guys, how about them Yankees?
Don't mind me. Just
Oh, welcome back. I really don't like that.
it kind of looks real, doesn't it?
No,
Yes, it does.
it doesn't at all. Except for the part where it looks not at all real.
Kristi killed a dog.
Oh my God.
Kristi killed a dog.
The memes have been incredible. Guys, if you somehow haven't heard of this story, the former DHS secretary, Kristi Noem, who
Oops.
did not do a good job. I think left and right basically agree on that fact. Her husband has just been outed as like a secret cross-dresser with a bimbofication fetish, which I didn't even know that was a word.
Bimbofication.
Yeah. As a
My trans friends bimbofy themselves. The two of them.
Okay, is that what that means when they do
And
all
they get
that?
like the really big lips
Yeah.
and like the. Also, this is convenient. You guys have like a shelf here.
Okay.
Like that's this is like when fat people. People who have an addiction to food.
No. What did we say? What did she say? Fat body people.
Fat body people. When they like specifically my dad, when we would eat dinner and he would put the plate on his stomach, be able to eat off of it.
Oh, I know that when there's fat people who like leave snacks in their rolls for later that they dig through.
I've never met a fat person that does that. You're just making it up.
I'm just fat.
He's just. He always people don't like it actually in the comments. They're like, Brad
Because-
is so mean to
and
to
they're
people who are overweight."
self-reporting their BMI. I still love y'all, but
Brad's mean. Brad is the mean one. And this show started out. I was the mean one. But I have grown a heart. I'm like
breasts.
I'm like the Wizard of Oz. Wait, who in the Wizard of Oz needed a heart?
I don't know.
Is it Tin Man or the
Anyway,
Lion?
I want us to watch this.
What is this show about? What are we talking about?
Kristi Noem's husband.
Oh,
How did you already forget? Well, you have literally toilet paper
I
rolls in your
forgot.
chest.
Okay.
Watch this Fox News report about it and peep the Chiron that they put because it's quite funny.
Former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is asking for privacy and prayers tonight. She's said to be devastated by a report alleging her husband has been what is being called a cross-dressing double life.
They put the Chiron as get it off your chest.
I have a conspiracy. I was actually talking about this with a guy that was at my house last night who I've been seeing.
But
we'll see how it goes. Anyways, we're not gonna divulge the tea just yet to the normies. We'll see how it goes. But we were talking about this, and he thinks that because she was allegedly, which is fairly
pretty
certain,
open secret, she was cheating.
she was cheating, that this was a PR stunt to make her seem like she was in a very unhappy marriage, and make him look bad.
But
in order
it
to
could also be the flip
save
side
her.
that like
And also to save why she was fired.
he got humiliated for years by her having an open affair that everyone talked about and was widely reported on, allegedly.
Right.
And I know people inside the government who are like, yeah, of course, everyone knows that. And she literally brought him in to work as her informal chief of staff at DHS, her lover. It's alleged lover, I guess. But
I support the husband. Like, wear the tits if you want. And also,
well-
if your wife is embarrassing you like that, like,
embarrass her back, I guess.
embarrass her back.
I mean, I feel bad because I think he got this all like non-consensually revealed by like escorts or whatever. But well, regardless, I will say that
She killed her dog. You think she's not above?
Oh, I don't think she's above anything.
Yeah.
But what I will say is I think he at least, listen, people are into weird stuff, and behind closed doors, I find it strange. But I'm like, I guess you're not really hurting anyone. the issue I have is that obviously when you present yourself as like an upstanding, moral Christian family who says that like condemns like, all sorts of forms of degeneracy and all sorts
Yeah.
of stuff, that's when it becomes hypocritical. And that's why people are memeing on it in
Yeah.
part. But we should also spare me the we're asking for privacy. Like you literally called people domestic terrorists 5 minutes ago who
5 minutes after they were shot.
with no evidence whatsoever. So I'm sorry, like you just don't get to pull the please be respectful to me in this time. Like
No.
I really, she is one of the worst people. And so I wouldn't want this to happen to anybody, but it's like, she's one of the least sympathetic figures of the current.
I don't have sympathy for her, but I don't know anything about the man. I don't know anything about the relationship dynamic. And I know
it's hard-
how it
hard
would
to
be
say.
hard to be in a relationship with somebody in
Well,
politics.
and sometimes these stories, there was another story that was covered, I think, by Nancy Rommelman, of a small town, maybe Republican mayor who was outed as being a secret private cross-dresser, and he killed himself. So it's
Nice.
like these stories aren't all fun and games. It is a meme. It is funny.
Is
but
he technically an autogynephile?
I don't know.
Because isn't like a cross-dresser kind of
Kinda.
like an autogynephile?
If you're getting off on yourself being dressed as a woman, that's what
So technically, like,
autogynephilia is.
by the definition of like Lily Tino, he's trans.
Well, their definition is literally anybody is trans.
Yeah.
So, and he's more passable than Lily. So
He's hot though, so like,
Oh,
I mean, that picture's cute.
I guess. Oh, you meant not with the. I thought you.
Not with the
I was just
tits.
thinking of it with the stuff.
No, like honestly, like if he came over and was like, I have a weird, like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, just stop. I'm gonna cut you off.
No,
You're
I
cut
wouldn't
off.
do anything with him with the tits on. Obviously, I don't like tits, but I just feel like I'd be like, yeah, like if I was married to him, he's kind of cute. I'd be like, yeah, just do that on your own time.
Oh, anyway, become a channel member. Subscribe. We'll wait.
He's cute.
Are you really thirsting for the bimbofication fetish dude that was just got exposed with the?
Yeah,
You're so messy.
I know. But he's totally my type. Like he's older.
messy.
He definitely is on testosterone replacement therapy.
Would that be
Look at-
crazy? You have
look
a
at his build.
bimbofication fetish and you're on testosterone?
Yeah, of course. Testosterone makes you horny.
Oh God, that would explain a lot. What if this
Yeah.
was the root of it all?
Testosterone, HRT.
Subscribe, like, become a channel member to unlock our exclusive. Please,
Sorry, I can't help
Stop
it. I get it.
distracting
I
the
understand him.
we're trying to get them to become channel members, and you're doing this. Do you think this is a compelling
Yes.
advertisement for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that! You disgusting pervert! That's absolutely unacceptable!
We're going to do a quick meme review of some of the memes about this because we're not going to take this story particularly seriously. I'm sorry. If you want serious news analysis about it somewhere else.
I will say, if he has a humiliation fetish, this
Then
is the best 2 weeks of his life.
Oh my God. Then he's just been the South Park meme.
He has been like enjoying this for sure.
Anyway, here's one meme. Kristi Noem and her husband, and she's laying in bed. She's probably thinking about other women. Then it's him. I wish I had tits.
Okay, that picture is not as flattering of him, even
Well,
though
it's
it's AI.
It's
I
not a
guess.
picture of him. And then somebody else put marry, kill.
Wait, is that the guy she was allegedly cheating with?
Yes, yeah. Corey Lewandowski.
He's a downgrade, girl.
I agree completely. And
Even if he doesn't wear tits and the other
they
guy
put
does.
Cricket. They put the dog she murdered.
Oh, that poor boy. Is that the one?
I don't know if that's the one or if that's just a dog, but
Everybody's like, oh, it's farm life. You got to put. No,
you-
you don't.
now when you look into the details, it was absolutely not necessary. Obviously, there are some scenarios in which
Yeah,
you may
I
have
mean,
to kill-
listen,
you
if
put
my
the down,
dog.
but also you don't take it back down and do it with a shotgun. You take it to a veterinarian and then you have a dog.
Yeah,
euthanized.
we're not like
that's
beasts.
crazy.
But like, if the only time I would do that is if like my dog went after like my child, I would shoot it.
Only in the immediacy to stop the dog from hurting it, your child.
No, if my dog, I'm sorry, if my dog like mutilated if I had a little girl and my dog mutilated it, I would take pleasure in it. I'm
I mean,
sorry, I would.
That would be an understandable response, but not necessarily a moral or.
Correct. No, I'm saying I would become very primal.
I mean, that's natural,
but this is, what did he do? Not like fetch correctly?
no, he was like, she took him hunting and he was a problem. And I forget all the details of it, but like lots of dog experts said very clearly, this is not a justified reason to euthanize a dog yet. And the manner in which she did it is crazy. And then she bragged about it like it was a flex too. Also, this bitch lied about meeting Kim Jong-un. And then when the reporters called her out on the fact that she never met Kim Jong-un, she removed it from her book. But then when they asked her on TV about it, she still won't say whether she met Kim Jong-un.
Why is she pretending like she met Kim Jong-un?
Because she bragged about it in her book, like, I faced down world leaders like Kim Jong-un. And then they said, we've reviewed the records of all meetings between Kim Jong-un and American politicians, and he never met with you. It's not like there's a lot of meetings between Kim Jong-un.
And where was she governor?
South Dakota. Though maybe this was from her time as a congresswoman, but still.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, it's like they look through the records. There's only a few meetings, and she never met him. But then she didn't just admit, she could have blamed her ghostwriter or something, or like said, oh, that just got put in there by mistake. But then when they ask her about it on TV, even as recently as like I think last year, she still won't say she hasn't met Kim Jong-un. This bitch is a pathological liar.
She's crazy.
And so if I was her husband, I probably would have gone crazy and done something crazier than that.
One thing I do think that I have in common with her is that if I was the head of DHS, I would put my face all over the airport. Because those ads low-key ate. Like, she really made herself the poster child. She said, bitch, get your together because I'm coming for you. And I want to be feared. I think that would be...
This is why we're never electing you to anything.
No, but I'm an ethical tyrant. But like, people who are bad should fear me. But I think I thought that like that had aura for sure.
So what we're going to look at next is some woke influencers basically scolding people for making fun of Kristi Noem's husband.
Oh, for his kink.
Yeah. So here is Jeffrey Marsh, jump scare warning.
Oh my God. Jeffrey Marsh? He decided
crawled out from under a rock.
And this is the story he wanted to reemerge with.
Let's watch.
Do I have to post something about those pictures? Here's the only thing you need to know. Shaming someone for their kink, when the kink is consensual and is not harming anybody, is immoral. But it is always the highest moral good to fight people who are cruel, deceitful hypocrites.
That doesn't make any sense then.
He's like contradicting himself.
Who died and made him the moral arbiter of good and evil?
Also, can I just say, I understand the point that we don't want to police people's preferences between consenting
I
adults.
don't. Why don't we want to police people? If somebody is at
the limit?
Folsom and they're in a piss pool and they just want people to pee on them, or if you're
Which
like
is a
that
real
guy, like that guy who I went on a date with and asked me to poop on him.
And you did it.
No, I didn't.
You asked
I
him
would
how much
never
you pay.
do that. I mean, I did not ask him that, but if he would, he was very rich. He had a mansion. That's why I went on a date with him. And then he like asked me that weird stuff. I was like, oh, man, I really like wanted your money, but now.
Yeah, he's just so weird.
Anyways, I think we should police some behaviors.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, I can think of examples, and I'm not going to say any of them because they'll get us demonetized, but I can think of multiple like kinks that could happen between consensual adults, but are still like very, very ethically suspect and creepy.
Well, yeah. And like, you're allowed to socially, I think.
Maybe that's the line for legal sanction.
I don't think we should take any legal action against people's kinks like that if they're not hurting anyone.
Unless there's some non-consensuality.
Actually, you know what? I do.
Okay. Ethical tyrant over here.
I have to like buy into the identity. You know, I have to buy into something. I either have to be a tyrant or I can't be this indecisive commentator.
I mean, you have been for a while now.
I have been. It's been like 2 years.
Now, this next one, Jeffrey was kind of all over the place saying, like, we can't police kinks, but we can make fun of bad people. And it's like, okay, so that's also like if you don't have, then you don't really have any standards. You just have double standards.
Well, yeah, because being bad, everybody's a bad person.
And there's got to be a limit to that.
Shape,
it's
or
like,
form.
by that logic, for example, because you'll hear this from like dark woke types where they justify things that they say are wrong against the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
By that logic, is it okay to like call a black conservative who you think is really harmful just like the N-word and be racist to them then?
Also, like, why?
I would say no.
The thing
personally.
is like, you can criticize, like with Jeffrey's example, like criticize, what did he say? Criticizing bad people? Or what was his reasoning?
Like mocking bad people or fighting evil is more important.
Is more important. Okay, so why is it that in order to fight evil, you must participate in the thing that you claim is a moral evil? Can't you fight evil by not shaming his
Well, that's
king?
how I feel about the people who do whataboutism and say like, I won't condemn political violence until Trump does.
Right.
Like, I'm like, well, then you're not standing for what's right. You're like
Correct. Then you
becoming
actually
the
have
thing
no
that's bad.
moral value. Like you don't have any values that you adhere to. at
Yeah.
that point.
Same with like the right, where they're like, well, we're not going to condemn this until the left stops this, or like we'll do witch hunts until they stop. And I'm like, then you're not better.
No.
Anyway, this one is much worse. I'm going to play you a Demon Twink's video scolding us for being transphobic for laughing at memes about Byron Noem.
Whenever you say Demon Twink, I know exactly who it is.
Yep. Jump scare.
No, because some of y'all are holes. Kristi Noem's husband likes to wear fake tits. I understand why that's a big deal. I understand why we're talking about it. But be careful about the way you're speaking. Your transphobia is showing. Calling him gay in a derogatory way. Calling him a little bitch. Making jokes about how much less of a man or less manly he is. Do you not see what you're saying? Is it up? Yes. Is it ironic? Yes. Should we be talking about it? Yes. But talk about it in the context that everybody should be able to explore gender regardless of who they are, and doing that as a man does not make you less of a man.
Sorry. He's saying that wearing giant fake breasts and making yourself into a bimbo doesn't make you at all less of a man. Then what?
Who cares about the context in which someone comments on a story? Shut the up.
Like, this is why everyone hates y'all. Y'all are like physiologically allergic to fun, to humor,
to humanity,
to memes.
like they're so hyper fixated.
Like, how could you unironically say, "Be careful about the way you talk"?
Be careful about the way you talk about this. It's like,
like no,
shut up, make a joke out of it.
Shut up and go away.
If I got caught wearing fake tits, which will probably happen to me, I'm just kidding. But if I was in his position,
he's not kidding.
I would just laugh about it. Like at some point, you just have to find humor in it.
No, we're not allowed to have humor because humor is transphobic.
Humor is transphobic.
People like this are so insufferable. Let's see what else he has to say.
We have been working for years to get rid of these stereotypes and gender roles. Why are you hopping back on them the second it's funny? Wearing a dress does not make you less of a man. Wearing makeup does not make you less of a man. Wearing fake tits does not make you less of a man. And
Please, for the love of God, stop saying the word cross-dressing.
Can we pause on the fact that
he's making a case for like anti-trans rhetoric?
Because in different contexts, he would say that wearing a dress, getting breast implants, and wearing makeup,
like if a non-binary person,
if
a non-binary person's like, I dress very feminine, so I'm not a man, he would
be like, yes, go off.
But I thought that dress doesn't.
I mean, I actually agree with him because I really view man and woman as simply designating your sex.
Me
and
too.
Then basically everything beyond that, I think, is.
I actually agree with his post.
That it is
like the sentiment behind it. I agree with.
That it doesn't make you less of a man to do this. Because
Correct.
If all you are is essentially a sex essentialist, that I just believe it's just about your basic biology, I would agree. You're still a man in a dress. You're still whatever. But I'm not going to pretend it's not like emasculating, though. He's suggesting it's not emasculating.
I think
dress up as a sissy for bimbofication.
Well, it depends on what your definition of masculinity is. By societal standards, yes, because you will not be
And I would
perceived.
say that what's masculine, what's feminine is about that. It is about
sure,
social.
Yeah. So you're not going to be perceived as masculine anymore. So yeah, I mean, masculinity and femininity is mostly socially constructed. It's influenced by biology a lot. I actually got into this with the guy last night. We were talking about this discussion, because anyways. But yeah, I mean,
in between getting your back blown out.
I didn't do that. I'm a virgin.
Oh, yeah. What about 2 nights ago?
I'm still a virgin. I don't know why you're shocked.
Oh, yeah. He did say he's going to lie more.
Damn it. He caught me.
What was
I saying? I don't even remember.
I'm
done. It doesn't matter. It was probably not.
I was done with my point.
He's a hateful man. She's a hateful woman. While she was out cheating on him, he was at home talking to adult entertainers while wearing fake boobs. This is yet another example that every accusation is a confession. But please stop defaulting to the same language they use once it's convenient.
On Trans Day of Visibility too?
Some of y'all have a lot of internalized hatred to sort out, and it's showing. Bad.
This is what pisses me the off.
Go off?
If you sit here and not only pretend like you are the moral arbiter of every human, like, and come off condescending, like, because I'm sure he believes he is better than the people who are making fun of them.
Yes.
What did he end it with? You have a lot of internalized issue. Do you think you're God? Like you can just walk in people's brains and figure out what their subconscious has been programmed to believe and what is internalized and what isn't? Like, bitch, nobody can do that. So when they're like, you have internalized racism, you have internalized homophobia. Bitch, I didn't realize you were watching my whole damn life. If you know me enough to know what I have internalized, bitch, you're a fan.
I just can't take you seriously with the toilet paper in your chest.
Done
All
with
right,
this.
guys. I think that's about all we have to say about Byron Noem's
Oh my gosh, I
titties.
have. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to make up a story. I'm a British woman whose nipples got cancer,
What the is
but
going on?
but the breast didn't. So they had to cut out the nipples, and now I've just got holes in my chest. But it works because sometimes I can put my pens and pencils in my holes, and when I've got to go to the office to get my post-it, I can pull out a pen and sign my address, and then pull out the stamps
So
from the
you're
left.
saying that, but my story about fat people having food in their rolls is unrealistic.
I don't know what you're talking about there, babes.
Okay, guys, that'll be it for this video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, do consider becoming a channel member, and we'll leave it there on that one.
Bye.